Can I be honest with y'all? You know, the biggest thing that frustrates me, there's this myth, there's this lie that the world and schools and society has told over years. You know, they basically say that your DNA that you get from your parents, that's the same DNA that's been passed down to you. And I agree. I agree, right? But what irritates me and what frustrates me is when I come across people with so much purpose and so much potential and so much passion, but they don't pursue it because they feel like their parents struggle. I can't tell you how many people I've spoken to and they say, yeah, I want to do great things, I want to go to college, or I want to kick this habit, or I want to do something with my life, but I don't come from that. I come from the family where my father is strung out on drugs, or my mom is locked up, or I got adopted, or I don't know my biological father. And you know what my response is to them? Is, what does that have to do with you? But there are so many people in this new generation, they feel stuck. They feel paralyzed. They feel like, well, since my mom and dad had this struggle, and since my cousin had this struggle, and since my grandfather had the struggle, I automatically have to have this struggle. And I'm like, no, that's a lie. I'm here to tell you right now, your DNA doesn't determine your destiny, your decisions do. I know too many people who come from wealth, but because of drugs and alcohol, and they wasted their lives, and they dropped out of school, they now living on a street corner. They come from wealth. But I also know people who came from poverty. They came from pain. You know what I'm saying? Homes filled with people addicted to heroin and prostitutes, but they end up becoming valedictorians of their high school, and they end up becoming crazy successful and multimillionaires. And I'm like, my. You've got two different people. One come from wealth and fame, but they're living in poverty. One come from poverty, but they live a life of wealth and fame. It goes to prove and show me that your DNA don't determine your destiny, your decisions do. If you make a decision to be great, if you make a decision to put that work in, if you make a decision to learn from your family's mistakes, nobody's parents is perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. We can't judge. I don't judge no man, but I have a brain. I can learn from people and say, okay, I want to be a better father. I want to be a better businessman. I want to be a better student, a better son. I learn from people's mistakes. I make the necessary adjustments and I win. You can do the exact same thing. You hold your life's destiny in your hands, but it starts in your mind. And if you can get over this notion, if you can get over this mindset, if you can get over this diabolical lie that you're not good enough, if you can get over this lie that you're not talented enough, you're not smart enough, you don't have the bandwidth, you don't have the IQ, you don't have the test scores, if you can just get over this lie, this evil lie that tells you you don't come from that type of family, you're not that type of person, that's a lie. You can do whatever you want to do, you can have whatever you want to have, you can experience whatever you want to experience. I know, because I feel like I came from the bottom. To this day, I don't know who my biological father is. He has never been in my life. But when you see how I move and operate today, I'm a great father. I'm a great husband, highly successful, published author of a whole bunch of books, got bachelor's and master's degrees, literally traveled the whole world with this message of hope and inspiration. And people look at me and they feel like, wow, look at you, you must have come from, I'm like, no, I come from pain, I come from struggle. But I told myself that I will put the work in, I will make the adjustments, I will make the necessary sacrifices to become who I'm supposed to be. Now my question to you is, are you willing to do the same thing? Or are you going to allow for excuses to set you back? Are you going to allow for people's opinion to set you back? If you live for their acceptance, you'll die from their rejection. So I'm challenging you to say goodbye to the days of hoping that they accept you, and say hello to the days where they value you and they recognize how amazing you are. Say goodbye to the days of negative thinking and say hello to the days of being positive and optimistic.